Hello, salespersons of all makes, models, and brands. My name is Chance, and thank you so much for tuning into the 8th step in our sales process over here at the Sales Bible. Today we're going to be addressing closing the deal. Not necessarily how to close, but the process of closing itself. The estimated time this step takes is typically between 5 to 10 minutes, usually closer to the 5, but I have seen them go for quite some time, so budget for 10 minutes just to be on the safe side. Now, let's take a look at the process at a glance here. After coming to agreeable terms, re-explain the next steps in the buying process. This is where you bring up the deposit. This is where you bring up the delivery date. This is where you bring up your business managers and what they're going to be talking about. And then you go and relay to your manager the agreed upon terms. The manager will then prepare the offer to purchase and any other documents your dealership requires. Then you're going to go back, get signatures and credit card if you haven't gotten it already. Then you're going to shake the customer's hand, thank them for their business, and then prepare all documents needed for the business office. Usually you put them in a folder and then that folder gets handed off. At this point in time, your job is, for the most part, over as far as the sales process itself is concerned. You will have to follow up afterwards, but for the most part, it is nothing to really be too stressed out about. Now, let's move on to some tips just to make this a little bit easier. Like with the vast majority of our previous steps, make sure the customer is comfortable. This process typically takes the longest when there's any kind of bottlenecking. So if your business office, for example, is quite a bit busy, then this might take a little bit longer than you might initially expect it to. For that reason, you're going to move as quick as possible on anything that is directly under your control. So you're going to get those signatures as fast as possible. You're going to prepare the documents as fast as possible. That way, you've eaten up the vast majority of the responsibility on the bottleneck. And it just helps you put you at a better peace of mind, essentially. At this stage, you're also going to want to maintain a positive demeanor, which is pretty easy to do because congratulations, you've almost sold a car, which is something to be excited about. And this is also going to be where you're going to really want to try and remember any details you can about your customer. I always jot them down on my guest sheet, but you're going to basically need to prepare a psychological profile for them to better help out your business managers. So just remember if they brought anything up about how they like to keep their vehicles, figure out whether or not they're kind of like naturally neater people and they like to preserve things. And you can look at their previous vehicle as a good reference for that. If they've owned it for a long time, I usually end up telling my business managers he keeps his vehicles for long periods of time. He really takes care of them. He likes it when they look clean. So maybe undercoating, maybe a Scotch Guard on the seat, whatever they have available, pitch them on these. If they even brought up warranty once or twice, make a mental note of that as well. Once again, we'll be getting into this a little bit later in the next step, but for this one, you're just going to want to get those gears turning so when the business managers ask you, then you're going to have some answers already pre-prepared, and once again, skip over that bottlenecking as much as you can personally control. That being said, guys, I hope this was helpful to you. And if you have any ideas, any processes, any word tricks that would help out in terms of closing, just let me know down in the comments beneath. I really appreciate it, and I know everyone else tuning in does as well. That being said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, happy selling, everyone.